YouTube, JankyYGO here. My name is Michael, and in this video, we're going to be going over some new Tearlaments. So Tearlaments, if you don't know, are a deck that centers around if they're sent to the graveyard by card effect, the main deck monsters fusion summon, and they're darks and aquas and waters are a few of them, and they are like on the cusp of competitive over in the OCG. In fact, if Spite gets hit, they probably will be. If Splites are the only ones that get hit, because they still top every now and then during the OCG Spite format, and the OCG Splites are like basically tier 0. So, and this deck can kind of compete with it, and through my own testing, I think the deck is already really good. But without further ado, we're going to jump into the new cards and see if they make the deck even better than it already is. So first up, Tearlaments Lulucaros. So it is a level 8 water aqua effect monster, 3000 attack, 2500 effect, and requires Tearlaments Lulucaros and another Tearlament monster. I don't know I don't know their names off the top of my head, what each Tearlament is, if I'm being honest. So I don't know if this is already one that's out or not. But anyway, its second and third effects are hard once per turn. Your other aqua monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle. When your opponent activates a card effect that includes special summoning a monster's quick effect, you can negate the activation. If you do destroy that card, then send one Tearlament card from your hand or face up on the field to the graveyard. The fusion summoned card is sent to the graveyard by card effect. You can special summon this card. So let's think here. The first effect is pretty good as it saves all your other Tearlament cards. Your second effect is decent. There are definitely, this negates the fusion spells and stuff like that, like branded fusion. And the last effect is okay, but how does this stack up against the current boss monster of the one that banishes and it doesn't banish, it shuffles in a monster right into the deck or a card. Honestly, I think that the other one is a little bit stronger, as a stronger effect, but this one definitely requires less resources. And its effect of if this fusion summon card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, it special summons itself, is also a little bit worse than the other one, because the other one also summons itself back, but you also get to send one from your deck to the graveyard, so I think Foolish Burial is on top of that. So overall, I do think this card is good, and I do think you still play it in your extra deck. I just don't know how. I just don't think it's as good as the other one that was revealed, but it just depends on how the format shapes out. Next up, we got a new spell card, Laments Grief. It's a normal spell card. You can use one of the first and second effects per turn, and only once a turn. You get to choose one of these. Special summon one Tearlament or Lisa's Starfrost from your deck or graveyard, and if you do, you send one monster you control with the same type or attribute to the graveyard. If this card is sent to the graveyard by card effect, you can target one of your banish Tearlament spell or trap cards actually from your and add to your hand. But you get one of your banished ones back to your hand. This card is also very good. This helps out a lot, because one of the issues I found with Tearlaments is that the monsters don't actually have enough ways to summon themselves out. There's one that summons itself out from the hand by sending another monster. There's one that's summons itself if your opponent activates a monster effect on the field. And then there's another one's a Foolish Burial, and one's just if it's summoned normal or special summoned, you get to mill 3. So this kind of helps with that, because then you can summon out any of the ones that don't summon themselves and immediately get their effects to start going without committing your normal summon, which is very good. This has also helped out bait out Ash Blossom, and that can be really good too, because you want to get Ash out of the thing, because all the Tearlament monsters to mill are card effects. So overall, this is a very good card, and probably leans more to a more pure version of Tearlaments, but I don't think that's going to be the case. No, I don't think people are going to play as more pure Tearlaments. Next, we're going to go to Tearlaments Heartbeats. It's a quick play spell card, and once again, you only get one of the following effects per turn. You target one spell/trap on the field and shuffle it into the deck, and then you send one card from your hand to the graveyard. You control a Visa Starfrost at activation. You can target two spell/traps instead. Cards into the graveyard by card effect. You can target one Tearlaments trap card in your graveyard and add it to your hand. I think this card is a sideboard card, if I'm being honest. So, yeah, I think this card is better as a side deck card, as you could probably search this card. Actually, I don't. Yeah, there is a way to search this card. There are ways to search this card in the archetype as already. So it's a searchable, non-targeting removal to shuffle back in their spell and trap cards. However, in order to get real value off of this, you'd have to play Visa Starfrost, which you don't play in the deck really. You don't need to play in the deck. But it's not a bad card to consider for side decking nonetheless. We're gonna move on to their last but not least card, their continuous spell card. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. So, unlike the other ones, this isn't a you choose, this is just you get either or. You only get one effect per turn. Or you only get each effect per turn. So, if a monster is normal or special summon and you control a Tearlament or Visa Starfrost, you can send the top three from your deck to the graveyard. Also, face up monster your opponent controls lose 500 attack. If this card is sent to the graveyard by card effect, you can add one Tearlament trap card from your deck to your hand. Out of all the new spell cards, this one is probably one of my favorites because it adds after you mill it. This part right here is decent, but it's nothing to write home about. I think that this and the normal spell card are much better, in my honest opinion, after playing this deck. And the deck does have some flex slots, even when you do play a lot of the, even when you play, hand traps and stuff like that. I have, cards I could very well cut from that deck to add some of these. Mainly being probably a couple copies of Grief, and then maybe one or two copies of Scream, and then the extra deck we find space for this. But anyway, that's gonna do it for this video. If it is your birthday today, happy birthday! And if you want to send me any cool deck profiles or replays, you can send them to JankyYGO@gmail.com. You tell me what you think about these cards in the comment section down below. And of course, and as always, have a wonderful day.